here we go. I did not quit trading, but I probably should have at this point. So I am back to trading futures, which I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'm going to treat this as an experiment. So I've been renovating a house, so I've not been able to make YouTube videos, but I still have been trading part-time. And the whole reason I got into trading was so that I could control my cash with some confidence, but not be staring at the screen. And I went right back to doing what I always do, which is overtrade. So where am I at in the journey? So the end of the year last year, I switched to stocks and, of course, had the biggest green month I've ever had until the last day of the month. Absolutely blew it up on one day, wasted that whole month. And it made me realize that maybe switching strategies is not the way to go. So I want to give a perspective change on my current setup and tell you where I'm at. So I definitely have a tendency to over optimize things. And I had a setup. This is my setup, which obviously this looks insane. So even if it's not nearly as good, it still should work. But let's assume this is not as good. But this is the best setup I've been able to get. This is trading NQ futures on a breakout scalp, automated with Edgeful. So I was trying to find a better way to execute my trades. So I had a number of trades that had slippage, bad entries, slow entries, but that's just the name of the game. So I tried to find a different automation platform to be perfect, faster, less slippage. And in doing so, I just actually made it worse. So I'm back using Edgeful, which did work good enough. And I'm going to treat this each setup. If I want to trade other stuff, I've got 4 setups right now. I'm going to treat it as an experiment because as soon as I feel the pressure of having to make money, I size up, blow up, and then I switch to trading stocks or something crazy. So I'm going to try not to overanalyze and freak out. So stock update, yeah, just like I was saying before, once I have a big loss, then I get into this negative feedback cycle. I just can't break out of it. The guys that do the breakout stocks, they're wicked fast. It's kind of crazy because they go up really fast, but they also can knife and completely go insane the other way. And I knew I was on the wrong path because I had 3 scanners going, and it was more of a me chasing dopamine than really trading. I got into really shitty trades, held all day on these things that weren't moving. And it just has been kind of that's not what I want to do. That's not the point of why I got into trading. So hopefully this is the biggest perspective shift and the biggest reason for this video is everything I've done that has caused me to not be successful has been because I was trying to get greedy. So I hopefully can change my perspective today and maybe yours. I don't know. But my entire goal was to control my cash and make an income from that cash. I don't want to just let my money sit in a bank or rot in the S&P 500, which is nothing wrong with that. And if you make 8% a year, that's great. But I always thought there was a better way to beat the market. So if I can beat 8% a year or 10% or whatever, but be in cash each day, that would feel like control. So I want to analyze this backtest with that perspective and worst case scenario. Instead of best case and then freaking out and trying to make it perfect, I want to go worst case and more realistic, really. So the backtest, obviously, if you have a 5,000 drawdown to make 100,000, that's like 18x. Crazy, right? That would be insane. So let's assume that the results are 50% worse. So let's say instead of 99,000 or 100,000, we only make 45K. And then let's assume the drawdown was double. Instead of 5K, it's 10K. But still over, 5 years? 5 years. That still would have been a 4.5 return. 10K drawdown, 45K in 5 years. So even if it's 50% worse, we're still making a 4x. But let's say it's even worse than that. We're still making a 2x if it was 50% worse of this return. So I think I have to be really bad to make it almost 100% worse than the backtest. Maybe that will happen. I'll be 200% worse and lose money again. So I guess the only question I really am trying to answer right now is slippage, fees, and overfitting. Will that account for more than 50% of a failure or worse result? If that is the case, if I cannot get 50% of this backtest, then I'm done. If I can, then we're good. So instead of just talking about the theory all day, I did trade it today. So this is how I'm testing it. I have this set up. So I have alerts from Tradingview that go here that are alerted through Edgeful, and then through Edgeful through Tradeify. Oh my God, everything's Tradeify, on Tradeify, which is a prop firm. So not using my own money. I figured if we're gonna do experiments, let's truly make an experiment and have no pressure. If I blow up the account, it's $100 or $200 a month or whatever it is instead of real money. So 30 days testing it. This is the day one trade result of $259.24 on one NQ. Day one back tested result. Here's the key, right? What is the difference from this back test to reality? So I just need to be on average. I mean, even 50% worse is successful. I should calculate the absolute percent that it will just completely stop working, which may be like 80%. So I'm taking that in mind. If I'm better than 50%, I'm definitely making good money. So the result of the back test showed I should make $304. So the difference on day one was $44.76, or 14.76% worse than the back test. So it was worse, clearly, but it was not 50%. So if we're only 14% on average, then we're great. And then we're good. We're making money, I hope. So this is how I'm moving forward. I'm only using automation, and I'm trying to not size up quickly. Just don't be 50% worse. So, anyways, this has been a long journey. I know for me, the frustration has been insane because the amount of time, effort, and energy in something to not have success is very unusual, especially if you have a job or you've started a business. The more time and energy you put in, the better the outcome. But that's not always the case in trading. So I'm hoping this perspective shift and reality makes it reasonable, reliable, and something I can actually trade because I'm not in front of the computer to mess it up. So day one, only 14% worse. Each day I'm going to measure how worse the results are from the back test. So thank you guys. Subscribe. I am back. I'll be updating you guys. And thank you.